everyone. It's your girl, Rebecca Cooper here. And today on the show, we have a 24-year-old American featherweight boxer who is on the rise from Brooklyn, New York, and just recently signed with Top Rank in December of 2021 with a record of 2 wins, one by way of knockout. We have featherweight prospect Bruce Shu Shu Carrington. Welcome to the show, and thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me on the show.
We've been talking about this since I met you when they first announced your signing. So I'm really excited that we were able to find some time in both our schedules to get you on. And I feel like it was the perfect time to get you on too after last weekend's win, but we'll talk about that in a bit. I want to start with you from the very, very beginnings. When did you pick up your first pair of gloves and why?
I picked my first pair of gloves when I was about 7 years old. I used to always I was a good kid in school and everything like that, you know, very unproblematic, but kids used to always try to pick on me because of my size and how small I was in school. But I used to fight off the kids that tried to bully me, you know, and my dad, you know, he was kind of surprised at that, given my personality and how small I was, everything. He was like, man, like, you know, my little shoo shoo, I can't see him, you know, fighting these kids back like really like that. Like, you know, I'll be worried about him if he gets into a fight or whatever. But I was fighting the kids off, and he took me to the boxing gym. He took me to Star City Boxing Club, and at the time it was, you know, famously known to be owned by Jimmy O'Farrell. He's, you know, God bless his soul, he passed away, and you know, at the time it had so many young, hungry fighters. At the time in their prime, they had Luis Collazo. He was world champion at the time. Paulie Malignaggi, Saddam Ali, he was still in the amateurs going for the Olympics. Daniel Jacobs, same thing. Curtis Stevens was in his prime, knocking everybody out, and it was many other names. So when I got into it, I was already watching boxing with my dad, and it was like I saw certain people that I saw on TV. So I was already kind of starstruck at the time, and that gave me more of a motivation to want to keep going back to the gym just to see those guys, but then learning from them. And then, you know, noticing I'm picking up the boxing game so fast in terms of, like, you know, the punches and the skill and everything like that. It was something that I knew I was going to be able to be doing. That's something that I knew I was going to be doing for the rest of my life.
Was there a certain interaction or experience with one of these fighters at that young age that really stuck with you, that to this day you feel like has influenced you as a boxer?
I would say mostly when Saddam Ali's his run going into the Olympics in 2008. I feel like that really, you know, made me stay, because I remember he had this whole promo video that he gave out to people on the DVD. He was like documenting all of the tournaments that he was going to and the tournaments that he was winning, going up into the Olympic trials and him qualifying for the Olympic team. And I was just sitting there watching it over and over and over. And it was just like, wow, this is something that I want to do. This is something that, you know, I, you know, aspire to do. And I want to be the next, you know, Olympian coming out of Brooklyn, New York. You know, it was something that really, you know, it really inspired me, man. And definitely I would say that's one of the things that influenced me to stay in boxing.
Well, it's interesting that you brought the Olympics, and I don't like to bring up the past. I feel like a lot of people bring this situation up to you, but I feel like it's kind of important.
Yeah,
There's a lesson
it
that
is.
we learned with the viewers, and I think I want to take a positive spin on it. So
Yeah.
pretty much to those that don't know, make a long story short, you won the Olympic trials, but then due to COVID, they didn't have the qualifiers, so they ended up taking the fighters from 2017 to 2019, right? Or something like that. And then your weight class wasn't in the Olympics, and so there was just certain odds that were stacked against you, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember watching you in the qualifiers back in 2019. I think we talked about this in December, and I think you thought I was just blowing smoke, but I swear I remember watching it with Mike, and we were like, this kid is going places. Like,
I appreciate that.
We were rooting for you from the very beginning.
Thank you.
But from that experience, how has it made you grow not only as a fighter, but the person you are today?
Well, you know, it definitely helped with my patience and faith, because like it was so much doors being slammed in my face. Like you said, the weight class was taken out of the Olympics. My weight class was taken out of the Olympics. I used to fight at 132 pounds, and all of my accolades and achievements is in that weight class. So when they took it out the Olympics, I had to force myself to go down to 126, which was actually of the best move that I could have made in my career, to be honest. So I'm not too mad about that. But then when the pandemic happened, it stopped the qualifiers, and then we tried to have the qualifiers again in 2021, and then COVID and Argentina was going too crazy, so they shut the qualifiers down again. So, like you said, they brought the fighters back that had the rankings from 2017. They brought the fighters back from 2017 to 2019, and I wasn't at the 126 weight class around that time, so I had no accolades there. So that door was slammed in my face, and it was just like, it sucked because I was supposed to have my pro debut July 24th under the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder card, and that got postponed to October because Tyson Fury's camp got COVID. And I'm just sitting at home, right? And the Olympics is now going on. I'm not fighting. I'm not even knowing what the next date is. And I'm just sitting at home, just watching everything happen. I was a little emotional. And it was just like, man, I can't get a break. Like, it was just really tough for me around that time. But, like I said, you just have to have a lot of patience because God has a plan, and everything worked out perfectly, and I wouldn't change a thing.
So when someone's in a situation like that, they can look at it one of two ways, right? They can either look at it and be like, clearly this isn't meant for me. Like, just the stars are not aligned. Gonna be bitter about it, move on to something else, and just whatever. Maybe look back and regret it. But you decided to persevere, push through.
Yeah.
What was there a piece of advice that you received, or what did something happen where something sparked in your mind and you're like, this is just the beginning? Like, I need this. This is what I was meant to do. I need to persevere and push through.
Well, it's something funny. I feel like me and God, we have this relationship where it's like, he's gonna put things in. He's gonna put whatever I want in front of me, but it's like he's gonna have me go through all of these obstacles in order for me to get to my goal or whatever. So it's like I'm kind of aware that if I want something and something like that I really like need, he's gonna just always make it hard for me. So I'm always gonna have a bunch of hardships. Like even when I was fighting the Olympic trials, like me cutting weight down to 126 for the first time in like 5 years. And, it was just really difficult doing that, but, I had to, and then I won. Even me doing it, going into the pro ranks and stuff like that, and having trouble getting my first pro fight and stuff like that. And I just always know, I'm just like, you know what, like God has a plan. It's just the faith. God has a plan. Just stay patient. You work hard, stay dedicated. You're gonna get something out of it. And he's proven that to me time and time again.
Well, I feel like that makes the victory just that much sweeter.
Definitely. Definitely. 100%.
Well, I was there the day they officially announced your signing at the Lomachenko Comey press conference. And I need to ask you, what made you make the decision to sign with Top Rank specifically?
Well, they're the best in the business, man. Top Rank definitely have the best platform when it comes to exposure with ESPN. You're not getting better than that, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect to any other promotional companies, but it's just like Top Rank, they just brought more to the table that I was really interested in. I'm big on promotion. I'm big on, being seen by, by a lot of people, and showing my craft and displaying it on, on a big platform. And I just felt like Top Rank, they were the best to do it. And they were really, really excited to have me on the team. And it was just something it's just like a match made in heaven. And then I didn't even know, like during, when we had at the press conference for the Lomachenko Comey fight, and I made that announcement that I signed, I didn't even know Bob Arum was from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So it's my homeboy.
He told me that you guys are homies. I lost it. I thought that was so funny. Like, you just don't know what he's gonna say next. It's great.
That was cool. Like, I just felt like everything just, it just came together. It was perfect, man. So, hey, we have a lot coming for you guys. We're definitely gonna make a lot of noise together, and I'm super excited for our future.
Well, speaking about your pro career, what was the biggest transition going from amateurs to pros that you've noticed?
I would say smaller gloves. Like, definitely the smaller gloves is makes a big difference in coming into the fights and stuff like that. But and a lot of media work. You have to do like a lot of media work in order to promote your fight and stuff like that. When you're in the amateurs, that's not, I mean, I'll promote myself on Instagram or whatever, but it's not the same, when you're doing all that media work. Sometimes you gotta take the time out to do media work. And then also it's like you have to slow out like everything down in terms of the pace of the fight, the way you're throwing your punches and stuff like that. Like in the amateurs, like you can get, like me, I was always have a pro style type of guy. So it was like I would like to do like a lot of power punches or like how can I say, just eye catching shots. And in the amateurs, it's like every punch count. Like it's even like if a guy hits you on the shoulder, it's equivalent to me throwing a stiff jab to your face, and I don't think that was fair. You know what I mean? Like it was like a lot of pity pat stuff would win the guy around, and it was just bull crap. So I had to get accustomed to that way of fighting. So me having to slow things down now, I feel like, it was a little difficult, but at the same time, that's how I usually fight anyway. So it was like, all right, let me get back to how I used to fight, how I'm usually, and Coach K is helping me out, a lot with that. Coach K is definitely like a genius when it comes to this coaching thing. Like he knows exactly, how to pinpoint shots and set up for the next shot, or even if you miss a shot, you have like, 3-4 steps ahead of that planned, or I planned out already, and it's just like I just can't wait to continue to add more rounds into the game when it's time, and so you guys can get to see more and more what I have to bring to the table.
Well, I know you were supposed to fight earlier this January. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
whatever it was with your opponent just didn't
Yeah,
happen. But I feel like,
yeah,
again, everything happens for a reason, as cliche as it
100%.
sounds. And you came out victorious this past Saturday.
Yeah,
Undercard of Conceicao versus Martinez. You
yes.
and your team did a phenomenal job this training camp. And
Thank you.
honestly, the win that you had this weekend, I would say it would be the knockout of the night. 1,000% knockout of the year.
Thank you.
I know it's the beginning of the year, but it was
Yeah,
really set.
yeah. I see everybody saying that right now. Thank you.
Yeah, it was beautifully set up, and I mean, it looked like it was like a game of chess. Everything that you did led up to those powerful uppercuts, and just what ended up laying him on the ground. So, what was
Yeah.
your game plan going into this past weekend's fight?
My game plan was just definitely just to take my time and just pick my shots. Because like I said before, when I was in the amateurs, like I was more so rushing my shots and and just being impatient on certain things, trying to be too quick. So the whole camp, Kay and I, we were just working on just placement, punch placement, and just perfecting it time and over again. Like it was sometimes getting annoying how like I was getting frustrated for myself by how sometimes I would do it incorrectly in camp, but after a while, it was showing in sparring how well I was doing it, and then just other drills that we were doing in the gym. It was just something that was naturally going to be implemented into the fight, and that was like I think the first round. Um, the only thing that Kay had an issue with was that I was smothering my punches. Like I was getting a little too close at times just to have more extension on my shots going into the second round, and we're gonna get him out of there. So I was like, all right, cool. And when I did that, lo and behold, the rest happened, and the night was over.
Wow. Well, I feel like Top Rank's really pushing you, just like they did last year with Xander Zayas, of getting you from one fight camp right into the next. And
Yeah,
I saw
yeah, I
you just
love it.
make the announcement that you're scheduled to fight on the Berlanga versus Rolls fight March 19th
Yeah,
in your own
yeah,
backyard in Madison Square Garden. How does
yeah.
that feel?
New York, New York. It feels great. It feels great, especially coming off a win like that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are gonna be very excited to see what I bring to this next fight, and I definitely won't disappoint. I'm still in tip top shape right now. Obviously, just coming off this fight off the last weekend, and I'm just gonna keep this momentum going. There's no slowing down this train. I think everybody's calling it the Shu Shu train right now. So there's nothing slowing down this train. I'm gonna keep this up. I'm just gonna keep this momentum up, and it's gonna be a crowd pleasing performance come March 19th in Madison Square Garden. Anybody that's watching, buy y'all tickets now.
Well, I can't wait to be there and watch this live. You've mentioned a few times your nickname being Shu Shu. I wanted to ask, where did that nickname come from?
Well, I'm a junior, Bruce Carrington Jr., and my dad, I guess they just didn't want to cause the confusion of just saying Bruce all the time. So, they just, the family just had the baby name Shu Shu, and everybody started calling me Shu. He started calling me Shu Shu around everybody, even people in the gym, around my school, whatever, and everybody started calling me Shu Shu. But I love the meaning that it has. It has an Egyptian meaning of the one who rises above all. And, the things that I've been through in my life, I feel like that's pretty fitting, you know what I mean? So I definitely hold that name. I hold close to that name.
That's pretty dope. I would have never thought that was Egyptian. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
But is that when your dad gave you that name or your family gave you that name growing up, did they know or was it just kind of?
I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. I just think there was just, a little cute name that they were just calling me as a baby without even knowing what the meaning was. But, I feel like I love the name though. I've always loved the name because it's so unique. You know what I mean? Like even like some people have all these baby names, but you hear these baby names like before, like, but my name, not a lot of people have a name like mine. So yeah, I feel like every single time you're gonna hear Shu Shu, you're gonna identify Shu Shu with me.
Well, thank God that name is something that translates to something positive rather than like ultimate loser or something like that.
Right. I was like, dang, okay.
We're gonna have to change that fight name real quick. So talking about Top Rank and their fights, we got Stevenson versus Valdez that's in talks, possibly at MGM, April 30th. How do you believe this fight will go?
Man, it's gonna be a great fight, and I'm great friends with Stevenson. Me and him have grown up in the amateurs together. He's such a technician. He's definitely a master of his defense and of his craft, like with his footwork and his distance. And like everybody notices how accurate he is and everything, and I feel like he's gonna give Oscar some trouble with that, with his patience. He's probably one of the most patient fighters I've ever seen step into the ring. Sometimes some commentators and people in the audience feel like he's too patient, but he does what he needs to do to win, and I can't complain with that. I'm not mad. I can't be mad at that whatsoever. I feel like Oscar Valdez, he has the experience on his side, which will make the fight much more interesting, especially with his power that he brings to the table. Like, man, that knockout of Miguel Burchell was like crazy, and I feel like that can give him a little edge into making a fight much more interesting. But I just feel like it's going to be a great fight, and I can't really choose. That's just something that you just got to just tune in to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, people could choose, but like we saw in 2021, last year was the year of the upset. So
yeah, right.
Boxing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we round everything up, I like to play a speed round game called Unboxing the Boxer. All right. So
it's called what? Say it one more time.
Unboxing the Boxer.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of catchy, right? It's like
that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
So pretty much what it is I'm going to ask you a bunch of random personal questions that you wouldn't hear in a normal press interview. So just be ready. And you pretty much answer as quick as you can, like whatever is the first thing you think of, you could say it. And if you have a little explanation to that answer, the more the better. All right.
All right, cool. No problem.
So first question, if you weren't a pro fighter, what could you picture yourself doing?
Actor. Most likely be an actor. Yeah, I love doing like skits. I love doing being being all of that stuff. So I definitely would probably want to be an actor.
What is up with this new generation of boxing and acting? I was just talking to a guy like last week or 2 weeks ago, and he's like, I want to be an actor. So
Yeah, no, we're definitely we have conversations about that all the time too. Like, yeah, this acting thing, we probably do some skits together and stuff
I was
like
just
that,
gonna
or
say
maybe
you
we get
should
a movie.
totally do that. That'd be dope.
Yeah, definitely.
I asked Troy this, so I have to ask you this. All
Okay.
right. In a few years, you become world champion and a movie's
Mhm.
made about you, but you can't be yourself in the movie. What actor would you want to play the role of you?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Dang it, man. Michael B. Jordan's already doing Creed, so I don't think I could do. Yeah, he could do that. Man. That's a good one.
That
I
would have been a good
honestly
one.
never. Yeah, that would have been a good one though. I probably would say Michael B. Jordan, but he's bigger than me or whatever. So what I mean, he's gonna make me look good with all the muscles. But yeah, if not him, man, I honestly wouldn't know. Honestly, I kind of probably Jaden Smith or something. I don't know.
That's so funny because Troy Isley goes Will Smith.
Wow, oh, that's crazy. Look at that's cool. That's crazy. Wow.
This makes
I'll probably go with Jaden.
That's good.
Yeah, just because he has that little fight background with the Karate Kid thing, he could probably, get into the boxing maybe.
Yeah.
I'll probably say him.
Okay. I like that answer. That's a good one. All right. On to the next question. Favorite sports team?
Brooklyn Nets. Come on, baby.
I know you got it.
Brooklyn.
No, I know. I know that was rough to answer too. So, favorite food?
Oh man, favorite food. That's a tough one because I love food, but I would say because I've been on a vegan diet for 4 years also,
Oh wow.
and yeah. So my favorite I would say is barbecue cauliflower, fried cauliflower. It's beautiful. Barbecue buffalo or teriyaki fried cauliflower.
That sounds really good. Now,
Yeah,
I
really
didn't
good.
know you were a vegan fighter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy with people that are fighters that turn vegan. People
Mhm.
say that it's just not stable. What was there a harsh transition going from being meat based to 100% plant based?
100%. Because especially for me and my dad, because we went cold turkey. Like we watched this Netflix show, well, movie, documentary, whatever, called What the Health. And that kind of like changed our whole lives since then from watching it. And it was just so informative in terms of like the things that, how what being vegan can do to your body, how it can cure you from certain sicknesses that's so uncurable with medicine and stuff like the pharmaceuticals and doctors give you and stuff.
Mhm.
And it was just something like I just knew that I always wanted to feel better about myself. Like I want to live life. I don't want to be surviving. I don't want to be, I want to be able to, be happy and healthy and look as young and, as I can for as long as I can. And yeah, it was definitely hard because it feels like you're addicted to the meat and all the extra sugar and all the extra, just unhealthy things that they put in the processed meat. And once I started, I never looked back because I started to feel good. If honestly, if I probably wouldn't be doing this if I didn't feel a difference, but I started to feel more energetic. I started to feel stronger. And it shows even with animals, like the strongest animals in the world are vegan.
Mhm.
You see gorillas, you see elephants, you see rhinos. They're all strong. They're strong because, they eat their herbs and their plants and stuff like that. Yeah, have you ever heard of the saying, "Oh, you want to be strong as an ox"?
Mhm.
When have you ever seen an ox eat meat?
I
You
don't think
know,
I ever have. Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, I definitely do want to be strong as an ox. So I'm gonna eat what the ox eat.
Wow.
And people always make the assumption that, oh, you're lacking in protein and stuff like that. You're lacking in protein, but no, like you're actually not. Like when you eat nuts has way more protein than any meat that you can eat, that you can have. Like I love like even making simple meals like peanut butter and jelly. Like you have like the 7 grams of protein here that it shows you, and you're cutting out kind of like the middleman when you're oh sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. You're cutting out the middleman kind of when you're eating meat. I mean, when you're eating plant-based, because you're trying to get your protein from the meat, but the only reason why you're getting your protein from the meat because the animal is eating from the ground, the herbs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, but by you eating meat, you're getting that plus all of the other diseases that the animal might have, and all of the dirty, you know, bacteria that the animal might have, plus cut the animal out and go straight to the source. And so that's why, you know, it was much easier for me. And ever since, I've been like feeling great. I've been winning. I freaking won the Olympic trials and all these different national tournaments, and got this KO of the year candidate. You talking about me missing out on anything? I'm not missing out on anything. I got all my meals and I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling better, better than ever. So yeah, nobody's telling me anything about vegan.
Favorite boxer besides yourself?
Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is my favorite boxer.
Next question is biggest fear.
Biggest fear. Honestly, my biggest fear is actually just failing my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Like my biggest fear is failing my expectations. Because I work so hard for, you know, the things that I want. And if I was just to fail in terms of like, you know, become world champion, or just even, you know, just upgrading, you know, and just my lifestyle and things like that, just, you know, mental, personal things, like I have a fear of that. Like I don't like, you know, but even but I do know that sometimes failure, you know, you need, you know, sometimes failures for success, but I just don't like to fail. Like that's just because I just so dedicated for everything that I want. I work so hard for everything that I want. So that's kind of my thing, yeah. And then second to that is heights. I don't like heights. I don't like roller coasters. I hate roller coasters. Don't take me to the amusement park. Like, I'll go on like haunted houses and stuff like that. Like I like horror stuff, like, you know,
Yeah.
but I'm not going on any roller coasters. If you want to go to that Six Flags and you trying to, no, I don't want to go.
That is so
okay.
funny. You and Troy need to have a sit-down conversation because you guys had like all the same answers. Like his fear.
Yeah, yeah. Troy is funny. But you know what's funny? I want to conquer that fear though. I honestly want to conquer that fear. I remember like in this hotel in Vegas called the Stratosphere. They have like these rides on the Stratosphere. I want to go on those rides. One thing on my bucket list is skydiving. You know, I want to conquer these things. And even like, you know, all of that. I want to like jump off. Like I'll be seeing people like going like vacations to these tropical islands and whatnot, and then they jump off these cliffs into the water. I want to be able to do all of this stuff like that, and I just can't right now. I'm just gonna stay in my little bubble. So
well, let's get you winning a few more fights. Let's make sure your body's prime shape, and then once you accomplish that, then we can start like jumping off some.
Yeah.
Make sure you're okay though. Okay.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, you screw that up.
On that first. Yeah.
Favorite holiday.
Favorite holiday. My birthday. No, I'm kidding. I would say Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. All the food and, you know, family gets together and stuff like that. Like most people say Christmas, but I mean, when you get older, Christmas is not the same. So it's not the same. You're the one giving the gifts. Nobody gives you gifts after a while. So I would say Thanksgiving.
When you have like little kids in the family that you can watch them, and then they have Santa and they can like enjoy the Christmas activities. But you're so right. You're
definitely. Yeah, definitely. And for me, Thanksgiving is like all of my family, they come from everywhere. Like I have family from the South as well too. So we all meet up at one point and we just all get together and have like a big feast, big meal. I'll make sure I have my own vegan stuff on the side, you know. Yeah. And I'm a family man, you know, I'm very family oriented. So I love those type of, you know, holidays when I get to see my family together.
That's awesome. Next question. Thing that annoys you the most. Biggest pet peeve.
Oh man. I guess when someone talks over me, I hate that. especially when I'm trying to get a point across, because I'm the type of guy, I can forget things quick. And then when you're like talking over me and I'm trying to get my point across and I forget, I'm gonna be upset. Like, I'm gonna be really, really like, it grinds my gears. So that rubs me the wrong way. I don't like that. And then sometimes when a person is being stubborn, especially when they know that they're wrong in certain situations, I don't like that. Like, I like having constructive conversations and like to have progression through issues or through an altercation. So it's like, if you're being stubborn, there's no point of talking to you anymore. And I'm just gonna we're just gonna just agree to disagree, and we're just gonna leave it at that. But I hate that. I like to progress. I like to get to a compromising decision. If you don't like that, then if we don't get that to that point, I'm gonna be upset.
Okay. I feel like you had that bottled in. There's some
Yeah.
that.
Definitely.
Just add the person already, damn it.
Oh man, you felt that energy, huh? Okay.
He's been waiting for that. He's been waiting for this segment for a minute. Okay, next question. Favorite animal.
Favorite animal. My favorite animal is a mongoose. And it's so funny. The people that know me well more, like they call me the mongoose because my style of fighting was like kind of referred to, how a mongoose defends himself. Like, if you ever watch a video of a mongoose versus a cobra, and a mongoose is like, a snake is like very fast, and in a split second it could like bite you and kill you. But a mongoose is so quick that it weaves the snake's attacks, weaves it repetitively, and then it counters it, and then it kills the snake. So I was so cool to find out that, the mongoose is like that, and I definitely love that name. So, and that it became my favorite animal.
Oh, interesting. The only reason why I actually knew that about a mongoose was because my first interview ever for Inside the Ring was with Willie the Mongoose Monroe Jr. And
Okay,
he explained that whole thing to me, and I was like, that's so dope.
Yeah, I was so mad. I was so mad when I found out his name was the mongoose, because I thought I was being so original. I was so upset, and I was contemplating on if my ring name should be Shu Shu or the mongoose, like Bruce the Mongoose Carrington. Like, it flows, you know what I'm saying? It definitely flows, but I mean, I like Shu Shu because, one, like, it's unique, and like I said, if you hear the name Shu Shu, you're gonna, think of me, and it's catchy. So definitely it's perfect. I like, I'm gonna stick with my Shu Shu.
Yeah, I like it.
I'll keep that. I'll keep that.
Favorite store to shop in?
Ooh, Zara. I love Zara clothing. I love Zara clothing. Like, you can't, don't ever put me in that store. I'm gonna be in there for hours. So, I promise you. I love their clothing. And it's and like, I can say I kind of have like an expensive taste when it comes to clothing, but their clothes are more affordable on my end, on my side, I would say. Plus the style, like, I just love their clothing. You go in my closet, you're gonna see a bunch of Zara stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
First job, if you ever had a first job.
Never had a job. Never had a job. I've always just been boxing my whole life. My whole life has just been based on boxing in school. And I was actually the first person in my household to graduate from high school. So that was a big accomplishment for me. But then once I did that, my parents were like, yo, like, we're proud of you that you did this. So whether you take the route to go to college or just, go fully focus 100% on boxing, that's up to you. And I was just like, bro, I mean, I know what I want, and I know what I love. So I'm going to do what I love and then come the best at it. I already got all of these years put into the game anyway. So why stop now?
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I've just been strictly boxing.
Oh, favorite song at the moment?
At the moment, I would say, man, The Weeknd just dropped a song, Out of Time. I like The Weeknd song, Out of Time, on that new album. Yeah, that's my favorite song right now.
Is that the one with Post Malone or no?
No. That's just strictly him. It's just strictly him. But what's so dope? If he has he basically has like this whole old radio type of feel to the album. And if you listen to that song, at the end of the song, you hear this guy like kind of like talking like real slow, like in an old radio type of way. And that's actually Jim Carrey on his on his album talking like as a radio guy in his album. So that was really cool for me to find out.
Now I have to listen to the song and
Yeah.
it's cool. Middle name if you have one.
Deshawn, Dashawn.
Okay.
Bruce Deshaun Carrington Jr. That's the full name.
One superpower you would like to have.
Ooh, I always think about this, right? And it's so tough because like I think about the realistic part of certain things. I'm a big Marvel fan, by the way, too. But I was gonna say time, like if I could control time, but then I grow to realize me watching like the multiverse and stuff like that, and how when you mess with time, it can set off a whole branch of different time. I don't want that anymore. So I'll probably say like super speed is something. I'll probably say like super speed. Oh no, I'm not. Telekinesis. I would want telekinesis.
You
definitely.
Oh, so to like move things with your mind.
Yeah. Move things in my mind. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, or like read people's minds and stuff like that, or talk to people telepathically and whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show.
Favorite TV show. I don't really watch TV show like that anymore. I'm like more of a Netflix movie guy, but let's say I'm lying. Power. I love Power.
Okay, you and Troy
I
have
love watching Power.
friends.
Power
There's
is
no
like
way you guys you guys had because he was telling me about I thought
that's my guy.
and he was like, no, like there's a new one on, and I was like, he was like trying to explain it to me. I'm like,
yeah.
The first one. So, but it sounds interesting. The new season.
Yeah, no, definitely. It really is. It really is interesting. And at this point, like they have like a whole universe going in with Power 2 with all of the beloved characters that was in the original show. It's really good, and I just can't wait to like 50 Cent, man. He's like a genius when it comes to all of this, man. So this is like amazing to where he's bringing, he's widening his spectrum of, with his money and stuff like that, how he's getting his income and what is all the show. He's a genius.
Yeah, he is someone that you think, oh, he's just a rapper, but the way he has other streams of disposable income, it's insane. He's a hustler.
Definitely, 100%.
Country you would love to visit.
Greece. I would love to visit Greece. I've been to so many places. Like I was at the top of my list. I was gonna say like Paris or whatever, but I've been to Paris and I love it. It did not disappoint. But definitely, but Paris, not the country. I'm France, but yeah. But I would love to go to Greece. They have this resort that's out there. I can't remember what the name of it. It's actually a little hard to pronounce it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I don't want to mess it up. But it's this nice resort that I would love to go to that's out there. And also, I would love to go to Dubai. I've never been to Dubai. Definitely on the bucket list for me. And at some point, I just want to just go out there and just see what it's about. I heard like someone told me that's been near this like Las Vegas on steroids, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy because I look at like me being in America, like in New York, I'm close to Atlantic City, and I feel like Vegas is Atlantic City on steroids. So Dubai is Vegas on steroids. I'm like, okay, I gotta go see what that's about, So yeah, definitely those two places I would say.
And last question, where do you see yourself professionally or personally in 5 years from now?
5 years, I would see myself world champion. And definitely probably, trying to become, multi-division world champion. Hopefully, I'll be doing other things as well too, like different scenes in movies and whatnot, because I definitely want to do that. Man, I don't know, man, just anything like the future. Like, I don't know really what the future holds for me at that point, but yeah, I definitely want to, probably, get into many other things and, be seen on other platforms.
Awesome.
Other than just boxing, yeah.
Well,
but by the way, there's a movie coming out, autobiography on Willie Pep. It's called Pep, and I actually have a little scene in that movie as well too. It's starting with Stephen Lang, you know, the guy from Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like my coach in the movie, and I'm like a sparring partner for Willie Pep. So I have a scene in there, so I think you guys can definitely watch out for that. I think later on this year.
How did you get that role? I need to know. This is very interesting.
Oh yeah. Well, from my knowledge, I like promote myself a lot in New York, right? Like I have a bunch of posters around and stuff like that, like in like anywhere you like, you know, the like in different walls and nearest corner store in New York or whatever. And there's a specific store in Brooklyn that I have a poster in, and the director actually lived above where the corner store was at, and he saw my poster, and he went to one of my fights that I had when I was an amateur, and he was a fan since then. So when he was looking for a person, it was actually a mutual friend of mine, kind of, you know, knew about the whole movie thing, and they threw my name out there. And when he heard my name, he's like, "Oh my God, we gotta have him. Come in." And they were super excited having me there. And I had no idea until after we wrapped everything up and had dinner, and he told me everything. I was just like, wow, okay. Well, like I had no idea you guys knew who I was. I didn't know you guys were fans of me. And it was such a great experience. Like it was so much fun. And that's one of the main reasons why I want to continue to, you know, be an actor and try to get into that field, because they let me know like it was like the shoot that I was supposed to do was supposed to last like hours, but everything they said I was like a natural. So they made everything seem like, you know, it was really cool and really good. So I'm like, all right, cool. I might have a little, you know, another talent on my hands instead of boxing. So let's try that out.
I love it. Oh my God, that's so cool. That must be so rewarding to know all the years, all the sacrifice that you put in growing up being a boxer. It's not it's not something where like as a kid, if you're a football player, you can compromise like going out with friends, things like that. Like you can't have that. So, you know, it's all worth what you're doing now. That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So before we wrap up, if you have anything else that you'd like to plug, your social media, anywhere people can find you, follow you, buy your tickets, this is the time to shout out everything you want to shout out.
Well, you guys can definitely buy the tickets. March 19th, Madison Square Garden. Definitely going to be on that. You're gonna have to get a crowd pleasing performance. You guys can actually get the link. Click the link in my bio on my Instagram and follow my Instagram at Bruce_Carrington. My Twitter is B_Carrington1. And I actually have a documentary out. It gives you like, you know, a crash course of my life, some of the adversities that I've been through in my life, you know, like passing in the family, and how I've, you know, continue to, you know, push past, you know, and fight through that to this day. It's called Brownsville Born, and you guys can watch that on brownsvilleborn.com. You know, you guys can also reach out to me, give you the feedback, and I'll definitely be able to, you know, reply back to you guys and you know, show them appreciation.
Awesome. Well, Bruce, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so happy we were able to set this all up. You were amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate you with even thinking about having, you know, I'm, you know, like you're big time, you know. So I'm just happy. I'm just happy to even be thought of at this point.